Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Puerto Rican Belle, and today I have quite a bit of things to talk about, so let's get started, shall we? Oh boy, this past month has been ridiculously insane for the Frozen fandom. I'm not sure what's got everybody's panties in a twist more, the leaked Frozen 2 ending, or the ship wars that are now coming back with a vengeance. I'm honestly like I'm lost in the chaos. I mean, ever since I joined the internet and understood what a fandom actually was, I always considered myself to be part of like the quieter side of the fandoms that I was into. How to Cheer Dragon was my first fandom and the one that I hold the most dear even today. But for me, the the most insane fandom that I've ever dealt with is the Frozen fandom, and this is due to a number of reasons. I've talked about my disdain for certain fandoms on my other social media, particularly Instagram, and my followers are quite aware of how I feel about the Frozen fandom and the like. I do a lot of rants about a lot of things. I mean, if you follow me, you know that I complain about a lot of different things, but the reason why I have so much disdain for the majority of the fandom is pretty much the ship wars. I mean, I swear, there are so many teenagers and young adults who get so caught up in their particular pairing that they just become so vicious and mean and against like literally any person that might have a criticism for their particular pairing. When I was young and new to fandom life in general, I admit that I was pre- pre- well, I was particularly defensive of my Elsa pairing, but I was also 14 and 15 at the time, so I was definitely more immature then. I've matured now. I'm 20 and I've grown past that like defensive-ness over my pairings for any fandom really. And nowadays I just quietly ship my Elsa pairing, which is my OC Conrad with Elsa. And I have a small following that supports it, and I go about my life, and I'm fine with that. I don't believe in harassing people over a pairing, like no matter how much you might hate it. It's it's honestly a very immature thing to do if you decide that you want to harass somebody. Like in the How to Cheer Dragon fandom, the biggest harassment that I see people deal with are Hickstrid shippers, Hiccup X Astrid. And I'm a friend with somebody who ships Hiccup with an OC of theirs. And I'm not the biggest fan of shipping Hiccup with an OC just because I am a lifelong supporter of Hiccup with Astrid, but I truly do believe in the idea of shipping a canon character with an OC as long as the OC is, not there out of spite or as a hate pairing or just like, canon XOC pairings, they can be very well done depending on who the creator is, obviously. So getting caught up in harassing people over pairings is, again, just a very immature, dumb thing to do, and I hope that, people that do it eventually do grow out of it and come to realize that, it's a waste of time and energy. You don't need to get caught up in that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. But there are just so many Frozen fans currently that are just, as John Mulaney put it in his Netflix special, Kid Gorgeous, and I'm going to paraphrase this, everyone everywhere is angry about everything all the time. And I feel like that quote perfectly describes the Frozen fandom right now. Now for those that aren't heavily involved or dove too deep into the fandom, you're very lucky if you haven't. It is a dumpster fire right now. They're particularly angry about the leaked Frozen 2 ending that came from some leaked concept art, which the concept art is gorgeous. I absolutely love it, but I'm also a sucker for concept art, so that's just me. I'm obviously not going to share the ending on YouTube since I don't want to get reported or have angry commenters. I mean, not that I really get comments on my videos, but I don't really care. The point is, the fandom is angry about the ending, and I have been seeing some ridiculous overreactions, particularly on Tumblr, where I feel like the worst of the fandom resides. I recently just saw a post on Discord from this morning where OP outright ruins the movie for a mother shopping with her two young children, and OP tells them, the movie is terrible, and tells them the ending, and it's just rude and terrible, and I really do, like, I will call somebody out if they do something like that, and it's not just for Frozen, it's just for, any animated movie specifically targeted for, young children in general. If you have the audacity to ruin the movie for small children, then I'm sorry, you just don't, just oh my god, it gets me so angry talking about this stuff because it's just, why would you do that to a child? They don't know any better. They've done nothing to deserve your spite. Don't take it out on kids, okay? Just leave kids out of your anger for something that you are just particularly angry about, okay? It's immature. And I have never seen a fandom get so riled up over an ending. And, like, to be fair, it is partially Disney's fault for keeping the last third of the movie so tightly under wraps. But, I mean, we won't really talk about that issue. But, and I'll be honest, the fandom getting riled up about endings and shipping wars is pretty much why I left the Frozen fandom for a couple of years. If I remember correctly, it was during the whole Jelsa debacle where people were posting articles left and right about how Jack Frost and Elsa were the perfect pairing and blah 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 blah. It was so ridiculous, and I hated it so much, and I still hate the Jelsa pairing to this day. I really really do. That's a whole other video. I lashed out a couple of times. But after that, I decided that leaving the fandom for a while was going to be the healthiest and the best option for me. And in doing so, I got caught up in the hype for Moana. And I have no regrets doing so. Moana isn't as appreciated as she should be, but that's a whole other topic. I know I say that a lot, but I'm trying to keep videos as on topic as possible. Anyway, so I slowly started getting back into Frozen around late December 2018, early January of this year, especially when that Russian calendar got leaked. I can't believe it was the freaking Russian calendar that got all of us this intrigued about a Disney sequel. It was so hilarious to me seeing everyone thinking of theories of, whether or not it was real and stuff. Like, I saw some pretty crazy theories about what the plot of the movie was going to be just based on that particular image. And then in February, Disney dropped the teaser out of nowhere, and now here we are, the fandom complaining about that they don't like the ending, and I said before in my previous video about how 2019 is the year of endings, and Frozen 2 is really just not going to be any different, and let's face it, you can't make everybody happy with an ending, especially when it comes to a big franchise like How to Train Your Dragon, Marvel with the Avengers, Toy Story, and Star Wars in December. Directors and writers can't make everybody happy, but we need to understand that no matter how much you may hate an ending in general or how a particular character's arc was handled, you don't harass and send threats to the writers. Doing that will get you in trouble, and it's not pretty. It's also incredibly immature and petty, and it just shows how childish fans can really be. And personally, I'm A-okay with the Frozen 2 ending. I actually like how Jennifer Lee has handled the story and how Elsa and Anna will still be happy no matter what. And I know that eventually some of the fans that are currently overreacting are going to step out of the theater and realize that they weren't indeed overreacting. There's nothing wrong with not liking the ending to something. That's what fanfiction is for. Don't like the ending? Rewrite it yourself. But you have to understand that the directors and writers aren't going to be rework everything that they've worked on for so long. Frozen 2 took 6 years to come out. Jen Lee and Chris Buck said so themselves that the ending was the first thing that they thought of for the sequel. And whether you like it or not, you have to respect that it's their choice. And if they wanted to change it, they would have done so already. Let's be honest with that. And I'm not going to tell anyone, to shut up or take it or whatever. I'm just going to remind everyone, just, take a deep breath, calm down, have a drink of water or something, and just take a moment or two to refocus. It's getting this riled up is just not worth your energy. It's getting this angry over the ending of a movie that isn't even out yet is just so ridiculous. And for the love of God, if you do know the ending, don't be that person to ruin it for others that want to be surprised, especially children, who are the main audience of Frozen. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!